Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Virche Evermore, continuing Eve's route. Getting close to the end. We're in chapter 5, so we're getting down there. I am trapped by Cyan, not complaining. She's not either. She's not complaining because she's all ready to die for the country or whatever, and I'm like, Cyan is pretty. So, totally different reasons being okay being trapped by Cyan. But anyway. Yeah, and everybody else is hiding out in Lucas's house because Lucas is missing. Well, Cyan has him.
I quickly tried to put the mask back on, but Adolphe simply waved his hand to tell me not to worry, despite being slightly surprised. He found 2 wine glasses and began to pour wine into them slowly.
Classy. Figured he'd just, pass the bottle back. Adolphe's like, we're gonna do this the right way.
Wine at a time like this? Isn't that Lucas's wine too?
He won't mind us having a little. Just tell him that Nadia lets you have it as a reward.
We clinked our glasses in a toast, and then raised our glass to the moon shining outside the window to mourn our lost friend. Adolphe had poured himself only 2 fingers of wine, and he took a slow sip from his glass.
I think this is the first time I've asked you to drink with me. It's weird, since Hugo would normally be here with us.
I couldn't bring myself to drink, so I simply looked at the purple liquid in the glass, reflecting my hideous face.
I kind of do like, because it went into it was at the end of the last part, with him talking about, instead of being like, no, it's not your fault, and being like, I kind of want to blame her for Hugo's. There's something in him that's kind of mad about this. Good. I'm gonna love everyone. That's unhinged. I'm kind of pissed that you killed my friend. Good! I mean, it's not really my fault, but kind of also could be my fault. Because of, my weird flower powers. Not like I did it on purpose. So you kind of can't hold a grudge against me, but at the same time, it's rational for you to be mad about it. You know what I mean? Because that's a very human thing to be like, I know it was outside of your control, but it doesn't mean I'm not pissed at you for it still. Because you're mad about Hugo's death and you gotta place blame somewhere, even though you're like, I know it's irrational to do. That's normal! You gotta work through that shit instead of being like, nope, I love everyone! Although being mad at me for that is kind of weird, considering the fact that you'd probably forgive the people who are literally gonna bust your face open with an axe. So, I don't know, maybe fix your priorities a little. It's alright.
Adolphe then told me something I didn't know.
You know why I don't drink much. It's because I had more fun watching you 2 idiots have fun.
I didn't know that.
What? No way, you didn't know?
You told me something I didn't know,
and then 2 seconds later, I didn't know that! Game. I'm being a nitpicky bitch right now. Yeah, from the very beginning. Do you remember when we first met?
I accepted a simple nod in response.
Our old leader saw your potential to be a great swordsman, so he forced you onto his shoulder and appeared in front of me with Hugo chasing after you from behind. The whole scene was totally chaotic, but you still smiled and spoke to me like a friend. I never really got along with anyone back then. I was so unfriendly and silent that everyone in Cohen hated me. Aww. The Adolphe's adorable.
Well, since we were going to be working together, I wanted to get to know you.
Yeah, and you kept pestering me the whole damn year, even when I was giving you the cold shoulder, so I pretty much gave in. From there, it didn't take long for me to become friends with Hugo, and you started teaching me how to grow vegetables. I just love the fact this is such a labradoodle thing to do. Adolphe being like, yeah, no, get away from me, dog. And frickin' Eve being like, no, but I love you, and I'll make you like me too, human. And then eventually Adolphe's like, fine, I guess we have to be friends now. Yay! Eve is literally a labradoodle. Jesus Christ. That's kind of funny and I love it. Adolphe's like, it's not that I like you, it's that you pestered me so much that you wore me down, so here we are. There is gonna come a point in our relationship, mine, with Eve, that he's gonna be like, so like, everybody says the only reason they're friends with me is because I pestered them and wore them down. You're like, that is not the case with us. I'm sure you probably would have pestered me enough and I would have been like, fine, I guess we're getting married now, just because I didn't want to deal with it. But I was in love with you before that happened, so don't worry about it. Oh my god. Before long, it became normal for the three of us to hang out during our rounds with the Corps. Eve, before I met you, apart from everyone at the orphanage, I hated this damn country for abusing only the good and kind. Yeah, only the good and kind, just trying to make a living.
He said he didn't even open up to our previous leader since he wasn't from the orphanage. He spent his whole time focused on becoming a skilled fighter to protect those close to him. Adolphe's face was slightly red as he continued to tell me the thoughts and feelings he'd kept inside for so long.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, Adolphe's like, I had these, like, 5 people that I like, and then you forced your way in, and now I love you and Hugo, and that's why future time traveler version of me, or past some time traveling version of me, like, saved your goddamn ass and looked really sad when we thought you were dead in Lucas's route. I'm just saying. Anko just loves Eve a little bit too much. Not as much as Hugo, but like, as opposed to like a random stranger. And like, out of all the people that we've ended up with, Anko's been like, yeah, no, whoa, no, 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 no. And now he's like, yeah, that one's a good one. So like, I'm just saying, if you were like, hey, Adelphi, I'm going to marry Mathis, he'd be like, questionable, but I guess that's okay. I don't really remember Anko's objection to Mathis' cipher. I'm like, something ain't right here. Legitimately, something ain't right here. Okay. And then you're like, I'm going to marry Lucas. And he's like, he is a stabby McFucker. Okay. Well, okay. Adolphe doesn't know, but like, And then you're like, Cyan. He's like, the fuck? The fuck you are? And you're like, how about Eve? And he's like, you know what? That's fine. I'm just saying. Anko was protesting because he kind of knew how shady some of our characters are. And like, but I feel like Adolphe would also have similar like protests to things. So. And you're the one who expanded my world to what it is now, Eve. It was probably the same with Hugo, too. Also, when he looks at him like this, there's something about this face.
Well, I didn't do anything special or kind for him. The three of us just spent time together and had fun. But Adolphe told me that it was exactly what saved him and Hugo.
You taught me how great it is to drink with friends. You taught Hugo the importance of making his own choices in life. So even if you don't know right now, I'm sure you'll also be able to help Spacey find joy in life, too.
Something fell into the glass of wine, causing ripples on the surface. Are you sure? Is it alright for me to find her happiness? Before I knew it, tears rolled down my cheeks.
And like something fell in the glass. I'm like, is Adolphe like giving you a ring to propose or some shit? And then it's like something fell in the glass and he's like, is it? And I'm like, it's tears, isn't it? Listen, first thought is like, what the fuck are you putting in my glass? Second thought is I'm crying into it. Well, Eve is crying into it,
A drop fell into the wine, then another.
Wait, are we getting... No, we're getting a flashback. Well, it's still a flashback CG, though.
That's so sad to know she really was deaf. I hate that fact. Even if she was unaware, she killed Hugo.
I hate the fact that, even if she was unaware, she killed Hugo. Okay.
I feel pathetic. I betrayed her hopes and threw her into despair myself. The negative emotions I thought I did away with were flowing out of me. Even so.
But see, I like that little bit of humanity is the, like, I know she didn't mean to, but she killed Hugo, and I hate that. Good. It's okay. Like, that's real, you know?
I don't want to lose her. I might not like what happened, but I still love her. Doesn't matter. I just want her to have a reason to live. And I want to be her reason to live.
Stop! I love it. I want to be her reason to live.
But wouldn't that be betraying Hugo?
No, Hugo will get over it. Well, he's dead, so... But, like, his soul will get over it. He's probably in a way better place than this. You have to believe he's in a better place, because this feels like hell. This literally that we're in with this is hell. I don't believe this is real. I mean, they haven't given us any indication. It's like the toxic soil is what fucks this shit up, as opposed to, yeah, no, we're in hell. This is like some kind of like torture purgatory. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and when you're reborn as a reliver, that's just because you suck so much you don't get to move on. And the people who die, and they get to move on. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. No, listen, I was all on that. If they came out with that, I would have been not surprised. But they went the toxic soil route. Okay, sure. I mean, you know, ground and land has been toxic before, and not just, so, you know, not unfeasible here.
Of course not. My partner's more of a man than that. Yeah, I fought back against the faint whispers in my mind. My partner wasn't the kind of guy who'd deny me human emotions.
No, he'd want you to feel them.
I wiped my tears away and drank the wine. Adolphe laughed as I finished it in one gulp. A familiar taste reminded me of happier times, and I began to speak with confidence. I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care if people blame me. Even if she refuses me with all her might. Even if the country's hope was lost. I'd keep her alive until I found her a reason to live.
Well, what if I don't consent to that? I mean, I guess there's worse non-com things going on in games. I do not consent to being kept alive! How rude! She wouldn't, but... Well, not necessarily. She'd be like, no, but like this, I'm awful and I deserve this, because she's still a little bit of a sad sack. I think she was getting over it, like starting to be okay, and then Cyan coming along, smacking her in the face and being like, no, you really are death and you really are killing people, just brought the sad sack back. Again, I'm not blaming her for it, because I mean, hi. I feel like I would also be a sad sack. I'm also a sad sack, just generally. But given this position that she's in, I'd be like, yeah, nope. Probably would have curled up in a ball and just wasted away to death a long time ago and given up a lot of hope sooner. So, you know. But
I crammed as much preserved food as I could into my stomach after days of lack of nutrition. I put on my cloak and sheathed my sharpened sword in its scabbard.
Sheathed my sharpened sword in its scabbard. Jesus!
I tied my hair up again and put on a mask to hide the face she said was beautiful. With Nadia's persuasion, Dawn had agreed to cooperate, leaving the house to go through a different route.
Mother, please take care of Nadia. Oh, and now Salome's here. Yes, you can count on me.
Sister Salome, who arrived to offer help, nodded kindly in response.
I wonder if she hates me now that she knows that I was the one who spread that rumor about her. You were? Did that come out in Science Route? Because I don't remember that. This is news to me. Wow, I forgot. If we were told.
But you did that because you didn't have any other way of protecting her, right?
Yeah. If Mother didn't keep lying, Spacey would have been a guinea pig to Cyan or Capucine a lot sooner. Okay. What lie are we talking about? I was the one who spread that rumor. The rumor about us being deaf? If Mother didn't keep lying, Spacey would have been a guinea pig to Cyan or Capucine a lot sooner. Me being deaf... I'm I'm confused how the logic here went. Now, okay, we know factually Cyan was like, I don't believe superstitious bullshit, so he wasn't interested. But if she's talking about like, oh, I lie, I said that she was death. That's not a lie though. What lie were we talking about? And why would I be mad that she lied and was telling people like, what? It's just coincidence. She's not evil and spreading death. Why would I be mad that you said that? That gave me you know what I mean? So I'm like very, okay. I just don't have the brain cells to think this one out right now. Cause like, okay, sure. Something about that. Anyway, it's not super important. To be honest, I was sincerely happy when I heard there was a chance we could live longer lives. But it still doesn't sit well with me. I can't imagine exchanging her future for everyone else's happiness. Eve, please do take care of her.
I gave my oath to Sister Salome. Eve. Nadia, you can leave your brother to me too. I'll make sure he comes back with her safely.
Thank you. I'll pray for him to come home safe and sound.
I approached the young girl sitting in the chair and wrapped my pinky around hers in the way my family had done for generations. Finally, I slapped my cheeks with my hands to lift my spirits. Sorry for the wait. I'm ready now. I couldn't say that it didn't bother me, at the idea that I was working against extending the longevity of the people, but I turned to everyone waiting for me and gave them my best possible smile. I wasn't turning my back on the people as revenge for their betraying me and treating me badly in so many ways. I would be!
Oh, he's a better man than me.
All that happened was I finally decided who was the most important to me. The time was 1 a.m. Let's go!
Took a long time since it was like 8 p.m. before. We took 5 fucking hours to have that conversation?
Even at the expense of the country, I choose her life and her love. I gave my declaration of war to regain my beloved death.
I love that. I'll sacrifice these motherfuckers for her life and her love. High five! That's hot. I love it. Don't kill Cyan, though. He's probably gonna die, isn't he? A place hidden from sight. An underground laboratory where criminals were used as expendable test subjects. On the bed was a young man sound asleep with tubes connected to his body. Hey, are you sure about all the drugs? This guy hasn't woken up once since he got here. Just keep to what our director told us to do. If he says everything's fine, then it's fine, right? 2 of Cyan's researchers were monitoring the young man's condition. He said we needed to keep these on. Something about him needing to be asleep or else he'll go berserk. Oh, and since he has drugs in his system, this is gonna detox him too. Is this guy really Boro? I mean, he's too skinny that I can't imagine him swinging around that heavy halberd. Well, I heard it took 3 of our guys to finally lift that thing, so if he really was using it, that'd make him a monster. But now that monster's our director's future test subject, I sort of feel bad for the guy, especially since he looks... What the? They looked up with confusion as a loud sound shook the ceiling above. Lucas B? Huh? Before they could react, the young man pulled the tubes off and extended his arms. He grabbed the researchers' heads and crushed them, dyeing the sheets in red. Oh, Lucas wasn't really out. Also, what crashed the ceiling? Lucas too? Because we know that, like, Capucine made clones, but also Capucine's arms and legs are broken. Unless Capucine made a clone of Lucas and sent the clone after Lucas before he showed up in the field on behalf of Cyan. But I feel like Cyan wanted him to follow us, so I don't know. Anyway. Oh, that's me. I was standing inside a locked capsule with something that felt like a strange film of water surrounding me. When I touched it, it felt soft but resilient, something that couldn't be easily torn through. Outside this egg-like capsule was Cyan moving about, managing the system and its equipment. But he was working so quickly and efficiently that I really didn't think he needed help from any of his staff. If your plan succeeds, then we may not need to resort to reliver technology in the future.
If that happens, I'll just explore another scientific discipline. In fact, I may even begin dabbling in the foreign research about leaping through time.
Hey! Hey! That's Onko's shtick! Leaping through time. Is that really possible? Yes. I feel like they've sprinkled this in because they mentioned time travel once before. Like, I feel like in Science Route. And then now he's talking about it. It's like they're sprinkling it in so that you go, wait a minute. But, like, if you weren't already, like, sus that Onko is a time traveler. You know what I mean? Oh, especially, okay. Before you got to this route, you kind of had to be suspicious of that because he, like, seems to know, like, the deaths aren't going to stop yet. And, oh my god, and, like, no, he's dangerous, and he knew about Luca. Like, he knows things, and it seems like very time traveler-y things to know. You know what I mean? Okay? Like, he's from super future, and he's trying to prevent something, or, like, basically this from happening, say. Certain things. He's trying to prevent certain things from happening. You know? So... But we also, if you didn't suspect him as being a time traveler, when you got to the part here in Eve's route with, like, oh, death and talking to Eve's, or the Drifter, or whoever, like, that was Onko. It made it pretty clear when he was giving Eve whatever he was giving him to revive him, like, bring him back from death, whatever, was like, your contract with me, like, whatever, and it's like, okay, so you were death in the field, okay. Like, I feel like that's pretty, like, I think that was fairly obvious. So, you kind of had to know that he's a time traveler, because he's not a reliver, and, well, I mean, he could be, but I doubt it. But, like, and him possibly tying into Adolphe or being Adolphe makes sense because we know that Adolphe is special in some way, but we haven't figured out how. Like, he seems immune to the curse. Because, like, he hasn't shown any symptoms, and usually around his age, that's when people start showing, you know what I mean? So, anyway. Time travel. Is that really possible?
If I participate in the research, then yes. But before that, I'm going to solve the country's curse to tie up all the loose ends.
The device I was in was special, as I could hear exactly what Cyan was saying from inside the capsule and vice versa. Cyan quickly began to talk about his life.
Back in my day...
Oh dear God. Cyan began to talk about his life. He's literally talking about the last 80 fucking years. You're like, oh, here goes Grandpa again. He told me how he developed reliver technology at great expense to his family so he could buy time to lift the curse. But since reliver bodies experienced little to no growth, it hampered his ability to progress through his research. Genius loved by God said,
I have no intention of making your sacrifice be for naught.
Although that does explain too, because like when we were talking, was it in this route? I feel like I had to have been. Because it feels very fresh in my mind, so, like, oh, you know, there's no point, like, something that you learn, it makes it really, like, going from being like, oh, I worked at the marsh, and then, like, you know, and then next, when I become a reliver, I've just got to keep doing that, because it was like, why, if you backed yourself up, and then you went to go work for the Corps, yeah, when you became a reliver, you wouldn't have that knowledge that happened after you backed yourself up. But why wouldn't you wait until now that I've become a reliver, now I go work for the Corps? Because your body, like, doesn't change. So it's almost like it's set. Like, your clone body isn't a real human body. So, like, the reliver technology is not infallible. Well, obviously we know it's not infallible, but it's not, like, good enough. Sorry, Cyan, it's not good enough. Because you as a person right now can change and adapt, and you can grow. You can get more muscular, you can gain weight, you can lose weight, you can enhance your knowledge, you could get brain damage and lose knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, you never know what's going to happen in the future, right? But when you become a reliver, it's like where you are right now, if you become that's you forever. Like, you're not going to really change. So, like, you can't really, it's almost like you're not really going to ever learn new skills because you're kind of stuck. But that also seems kind of bullshit, because I feel like, really? Like, Cyan can't ever learn new things? So, like, he's like, I don't know, like, I feel like that's where they're going. Like, oh no, like, it hampered his ability to figure out the curse because he got into a reliver body, but yet at the same time, he was smart enough to figure it out now by doing research. Yes, I had to trip and fall into his arms for it, but sure, fine. You know, but also then he's like, oh, then if we figure out everything and cure the world, then I'll just figure out time travel. But how could you if your body and your brain are basically like not able to expand or change? So, like, is this part of the science we're not supposed to? Because, like, they're contradicting themselves. Like, I can understand, like, being in a reliver body, like, the progress I would have made as a normal person, where I was, and then in 5 years, is a lot slower in a reliver body, but, you know what I mean? But Cyan is just basically proof that what he just said about, oh, yeah, you're basically stagnant when you become a reliver is kind of bullshit. Like, now maybe you can't build muscle physically because your body is set, but like, I still don't almost believe that, because like, he just kind of proved, like, by figuring this out and then being like, oh, I'll just go into time travel. Well, you wouldn't be able to figure out time travel if your brain was stuck where it is right now. You know, was permanently stuck at the spot. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't have been able to figure this out. So like, I feel like there are definitely things about the quote unquote science that they put in this that they didn't really think through. Because I feel like this isn't the first time where they've said something and like, this is the fact, and you're like, well, that kind of contradicts what you said before, right? Am I crazy? Anyway. He finished his preparations, and all that was left was to put the experiment into motion. I feel like they just wanted some way to be like, oh, why Cyan hasn't figured it out yet? Oh, it's because of being a reliver makes me dumb, basically. But again, you just contradicted. So, whatever. They could have just been like, he was bored and he wanted to figure it out, but then it was just like, he just didn't have the right information because he didn't have, you know what I mean? So like, and was he trying really hard? No. Could have just said that, you know? Instead of trying to come up with something and then contradicting it literally in the same sentence in a way. The capsule brightened with lights that traced the form of a double helix, which was slowly drawn upon my body. It didn't hurt, but I shuddered from the unnatural movement of my blood running through my body.
This isn't much thanks, but I promise you that Karun will be safe once this experiment's concluded. As for the memory crash issue, once I can push myself to the next domain, I'll find a way to resolve that too.
And here's the thing again, because he figured that out in his route without, you know what I'm saying? So they're contradicting themselves with that, and that kind of bothers me. Like, don't, yeah. Get your shit straight. Thank you very much. He told me before that he wants someone who would love him. So it would defeat the purpose if the technology can't retain emotions of love. Hearing my words, Cyan moved his hand away from the system when a siren pierced through the air to notify of intruders. Screen on! At Cyan's command, a projection appeared, displaying the outside of the Institute.
I rescind my earlier statement, Maiden of Death. I can no longer promise Karun's safety. After all, I'll have to take him down myself.
Huh? An electric car rammed through the gates. You know, I love if I'm gonna love Mathis for one thing, it's the fact that he is a psycho behind the wheel. And I know that's just because Jean downloaded a crazy man inside of him, but it's still fun and I love it. Out from the car appeared a man with a sword. It seemed as if he knew where the cameras were located. He waved his hand to us.
Hello, that's Karun from Cohen. I received a work order from myself to retrieve my sweetheart.
That's so cute. I love it. What was he doing? I could save the people of this country. As someone who knew kindness, why wasn't he happy with my decision? Just as I was about to say so, ah! The genes forming my body, they were telling me to evolve. A sensation, heat rising, the pain. Ah! I screamed in agony from the surging pain and the raging heat running through my body. I didn't have much time left before becoming an incarnation of the Lycoris Noirge. 10 minutes and counting. I'm gonna guess he's not gonna get here in time to save us, because, like, that would be the bad end, you know what I mean? Or he'll get here just in time. No! No! And then we'll turn into it. But we'll better get a fucking kiss! Mathis offered to stay behind near the entrance to keep the royal guard at bay. He just run around, roll them over them in his car. Eve and Adolphe rushed inside and headed to the laboratory deep within the Institute. There's the intruders! Kill them before they get to the director! If we can keep them away from her, we're all going to be able to live life the way it was meant to be. I like the fucking noises. The guard who had learned of Cyan's plan sent arrows through the air, which were swatted away by the intruders' swords. Before the next set of arrows were released, Eve jumped. He ran a few steps across the wall and quickly closed the distance. He landed right behind the stunned soldiers. What?
Sorry, but I need you guys quiet.
He landed a safe but powerful blow on the guards. Adolphe rushed them and destroyed their weapons. What are you, a cat?
Not as good as Boro, but that was pretty good, right?
Kill them! Kill them! Don't let the Coen commoners get through! Show them our pride as soldiers who were born in this country to serve our God! Eve kept going, even as he joked with Adolphe from time to time. He thrust, sliced, cut, and punched. They both took down the guards coming toward in waves as they made their way through the facility using information provided by Dalit. But, you monsters are getting in the way of our director! Don't you want to live like normal humans? They soon noticed that the guards were different from the Royal Guard, and there were more here than previously expected. Something wasn't right. There shouldn't have been so many guards assigned to the Institute. Eve struck a guard rushing forward with a club, but from behind that guard came, Die! Another one with the same face appeared and lunged at Eve. He's cloning guards. Eve again knocked him out cold before coming to a realization. Damn.
Was he mass-producing reliver clones as an expendable army?
Damn it! Does he want you dead that badly? We're not gonna keep up if they keep coming at us like this. Bird, I love you, but you cannot shove yourself into my fucking esophagus, okay? Jesus. Worse, Eve wasn't back to full health as he was still under the toxin's effect. Forcing their way through the mapped route would only put them at further risk. Eve, let's look for another...
I predicted you would face me, which was why I had everything planned back when I started torturing Ordy. Using reliver technology for military use goes against my ideals, but I'll make this an exception. I won't let you get in the way of my mission to save the people of this country. Squad 3, Squad 4, charge in and corner the intruders from both sides. I want them dead or alive. Preferably alive.
Cyan's ruthless order took immediate effect. The newly produced guards appeared from around the corner and surrounded them. And this is where Lucas shows up. The two of them braced for the worst as the guards drew their weapons, ready to attack. Ah! The guards toward the front were blown back by the wall next to them exploding. That was a better way to read that.
What
the heck? Even Adolphe somehow avoided the rubble and kept their guard up. The corridor was filled with smoke and dust. That lout. Beyond the crumbled wall appeared a powerful kick to create a way to get through. He said himself that the drugs weren't potent. If so, then how much did he administer to me? With a giant halberd in hand, the man wiped away the blood from his lips.
Lucas, what in the world are you... Oh, wait, your clothes!
Don't tell me you're Boro. Lucas looked at the two of them as they readied their weapons. I can explain later. The drugs that were injected into me have taken a toll on my body. You're going to save Spacey, right? Let's get moving before the next wave of guards arrives. More guards appeared from the front, but they were greeted by Lucas's halberd, which blew them back onto the floor. He used the blunt side of the halberd, so the men on the ground should still be alive under the rubble. With no time to be surprised by this sudden event, Eve and the others quickly continued on their way.
Lucas, Nadia's worried about you.
I have no idea what you're planning to do later, but at least show your face to her so she knows you're safe. Yes, I'm planning to do that. And thank you very much for keeping her safe. Look at how beautiful and precious Lucas looks right now, just like, yeah, thanks. As he's like fucking slicing and dicing people. I love it. With Lucas joining them, they quickly made their way through the raid of guards without much effort. Even the others advanced deeper into the facility. It wasn't strange to assume that Cyan hadn't considered the possibility of Lucas's appearance. After Lucas cleanly swatted down the arrows unleashed at them, the door adjacent to the corridor opened. Lucas barely blocked a strike that came from the shadow of the open door. Out from the door appeared the same halberd used to block the strike. Lucas clone. Ugh.
What? Another Lucas?
Must be another reliver. Adolphe raised his sword to strike the fake Lucas when... But sensing danger, even Adolphe leapt back at the same time. Two shadows appeared from above, swinging their halberds down onto the floor, where the two had just stood. Yeah. So, he made Capucine make him Lucas clones. Or he did it himself, who knows. You've gotta be kidding.
Two Boro relivers? No way!
More fake Lucas clones appeared from behind. Lucas is gonna be pissed. Ugh. Lucas, who wasn't at full health, somehow struck down his clone, but it didn't change the situation much. Don't bother with them, and just avoid their attacks. As if his loud warning was the trigger. The blades of the Boro clones began to swarm Eve and the others. Eve somehow avoided the weapons from reaching him, but... Uh-oh. I don't know who's getting attacked and who's bleeding now. Despite the clones not having a thought of their own, they slowed down Lucas considerably. Even Eve, who was avoiding the blades, slowly began to take hits, some of them deep. Oh, all of us. Why, you... Lucas swung his halberd fearlessly to take down his clones, but a few of them braced for the impact to block him. Lucas's shoulder was torn open.
Lucas!
Shh. Adolphe covered Lucas and took the next hit and was blown back along with him. They were supposed to be Lucas's clones, but they didn't show the same love for their former students, nor were they sane. They impassionately came forward to crush Eve's head with their halberds. The sound of something being pierced, and from the clones appeared drops of red blood. That sounded like arrows. The backs of the clones were covered with arrows, making them look like angels with wings. Eve! It's Eve and Adolphe! Cover them! We've shot those fakes, so there's no turning back now! The Boro without a face covering on is on our side. Leave them alone and go for the others! They were the core members who hadn't shown their faces since the deaths. They kept their distance the whole time to avoid suspicion of being with Eve, and with some even holding a grudge against him. And now those very men were here with their swords in hand to face the army of clones. Aww!
Wait!
Before Eve could stop them, some clones began to move again, quickly slashing at the men and killing a few. Get out of here, you guys!
Even Adolphe's yelling wasn't enough to change the situation. Tense, man. Each time the clones directed their attention to Eve and the others, the men charged in to help, only to be killed.
Don't think about killing them, just get their attention so even the leader can keep moving! Yeah, remember the turn on our backs now will only piss off Hugo! Sorry, guys. I can't go out for drinks anymore. You think I'd seriously sell my buddy out over some booze? There's nothing better than eating Spacey's dishes and having fun with Eve. You'd be surprised how the taste of booze can change depending on who you drink with. Too bad you guys don't know about that. That bastard. Guess it took us this long to finally get his message, huh? Sorry, Eve. Forgot to tell you how good the drinks you brought were. You know, we totally forgot we said we'd take good food over some stupid death curse. Damn my stupid memory for forgetting something like that. Make sure you tell her that her food was the best. Well, now ain't this... Well, this ain't all bad. Feels good being able to fight for something, knowing you can only move forward now. I know it's not much, but we'll do what we can to let you guys continue. They're all saying this and then dying. Everyone was dying one by one to protect Eve and apologize to him. This is so tragic. Why, it's the tragic end. I know they're just random dudes, but it's still sad.
Stop it! You don't need to do this for me! Just get out of...
Shh, let's go, Eve. Don't let their sacrifice go to waste.
Trying to pet you, but you bite and you beat the jerk. Adolphe forcefully grabbed Eve's arm and began to run with Lucas leading the way. Put me down, buttface. But the clones that cleaved away at the core turned around to give chase, closing in on them quickly. The remaining core members fired their arrows, but it wasn't enough to stop them. Stop, don't bite my headset. Oh, don't be a jerk.
By the way, the projection is a simple navigational tool for guests, so there's no restriction on who can use them. If you ever get lost, simply talk to the display and it'll offer the help you need. But don't you dare touch the emergency icon displayed in the bottom right corner. Pressing that'll activate the emergency barrier to prevent the spread of fire, completely sealing off the area. Good job, Adolphe. He's gonna hit that fucking button. Adolphe quickly hit the emergency mark as he ran past the projected navigation tool. Suddenly, a thick and transparent glass wall began to lower ahead of them. Ah, I see. That should do the trick. It should, but Lucas, who was in front, would be able to run past the lowering door, but even Adolphe wouldn't make it in time. Lucas slid under the gap above the floor as the space grew smaller and smaller.
Shh! As long as Lucas can get to her, then...
He should be able to save his student, Spacey, before it was too late. With that thought in mind, Eve raised his sword to fight alongside Adolphe, but... No! You go on ahead! Huh? Adolphe quickly turned around and kicked Eve hard. Eve flew backward and barely made it under the wall just before it could touch the floor. Eve groaned from the hard hit and slowly raised his head up to see that the glass wall was completely shut. Oh, now Adolphe's gonna die.
What?
Oh, this is sad, Eve CG.
What the heck, Adolphe?
As you can see, I couldn't make it under in time. Get moving. Sure, deep down, she's waiting for you.
Damn you! I never asked for you to do this! Open this! You have to come with us! Adolphe! Everyone!
He slams his fist against the glass wall, only to draw blood from his hands. Oh, Lucas. It's no use. Even I can't break the wall. Lucas tried to help by striking the wall, but nothing changed, even with his superhuman strength. Eve continued to strike at the glass wall over and over again. The men who wanted them to move on were dying in front of his eyes, one by one. It also meant that the clones would soon come in for the kill, first by going after Adolphe, who was blocking the way.
Please, you have to open this. I don't want this. I don't want to lose my friends anymore. The same for her, too. She's gonna be devastated if she finds out we lost you.
Then heal her with all the hope you can give, Eve.
That's the duty of a brother to protect his little sister, right?
Strength in Eve's fist slamming against the wall, began to weaken. Eve could tell Adolphe was smiling, even with his back turned.
Hey, Eve. Miss Science said that Spacey's the manifestation of the Lycoris Noirges. If so, then there's only one person I know who's fit to save and protect her. Not some fake knight like me who tried to hide her away from evil. It's someone who actually held her hand and taught her what happiness is really about. In other words, it's you, guardian of the Lycoris Noirges. So don't worry about us, or everyone else's longevity. Take care of my poor little sister, okay?
No! Wait! Adolphe!
Shadow fell on the smiling Adolphe. Beyond the glass wall, Adolphe readied his weapon to take down as many clones as possible. In front of Eve's very eyes, his comrades fell, and then...
You know, I actually liked how she sometimes called me her brother.
Adolphe bloomed into a bright red flower. Oh, God. I knew they were going to make us experience it, but oh, they have to be so poetic about it. Oh. I know he's screaming. I can't scream anymore. It'll make me actually cry. Let's not. Eve was prepared to die, but he wasn't prepared to mourn the others who died in his place. After losing his second friend, Eve broke down and sobbed. No one beyond the glass walls survived. The Lucas clones had also been killed through the determination of the core members and Adolphe's last stand. Well, I mean, that's a good thing, I guess. This wouldn't have happened if a monster like me was never born. Unable to bear the guilt, Lucas tried to apologize to Eve, who had his back turned.
I need to go.
Eve took a deep breath. He forced the words out of his mouth. He told himself that it was too early to wallow in despair and that he needed to keep his head up. Yeah, don't wallow in despair yet, because we're not done with how tragic this is going to get.
I need to go. I have to save her, no matter what. That's what Adolphe and I decided.
He rose with the strength given to him. He needed to go. After all, he was the one who decided to go on this unavoidable path. He had no other choice. Lucas quietly followed behind Eve, who was walking on with unsteady steps. The two continued on their way, taking down each wave of guards that appeared. Soon enough, Eve and Lucas arrived at the final corridor that led to the depths of the Institute.
She's beyond this corridor.
And beyond the corridor was also a certain someone he needed to put an end to. Seeing Eve's tear-stained face, Lucas slowly began to speak. Listen, I love Cyan and I don't want Eve to kill him, but at the same time, Cyan is directly responsible for killing Adolphe, and I don't like that. Although Lucas was also directly responsible for killing Cyan. I'm gonna need every one of my boyfriends to stop trying to kill each other. We are gonna actually, when we're done with this game, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna go to therapy, we're gonna have group therapy for everybody, okay? Even Mathis, because he just needs group therapy. He did not actually try to kill anyone, so it's fine. But Jean's gonna need to be there to work out his fucking problems and why he's torturing Mathis. Okay, we're all gonna need to sit down in group therapy and talk about how we don't kill our friends even if we don't get along. Okay? Like Jesus. I mean, and we'll have to bring in our Pio Fiore boys, right? Because they're experienced in killing each other. Alright? They're like, listen. If they can get along, even though Yang is trash, and they're in the mafia, okay, y'all you motherfuckers can get along too, okay? Jesus. Simmer down. We're apparently going to have to build a therapy room in the man harem because, not just because of the trauma that we're dealing with here. I feel like most of it'll go away when we bring them here into the man harem and like, there's no toxins here, you're fine, okay?
but also, like, you just need to, like, learn to get along and work out your shit, okay? Everybody else is managed, all right? There's plenty of room. You don't all have to be around each other. There's other friends you can make, but, like, for God's sakes, there's no fighting in the man harem, and there's sure as fuck no stabbing, okay? Cages are fine, okay? Those are okay, with consent, okay? But there's none of the stabbing bullshit, right? Let's stop killing each other. Jesus. Oh, God. Ugh. A question for you, Eve. What if it's too late? What will you do if she's already turned into a cloning subject? Eve quickly stopped upon sensing something ominous about his question. Lucas also stopped and looked at Eve as if they were in class.
Why are you asking me that now?
Because my course of action will change depending on your reply. Suddenly, tension built up around them. If she turns into a reliver cloning subject, it'll be as though she's the mother of these demons. I'm sure she couldn't accept such a horrifying fate. They didn't make it in time. I believe her only means of salvation would be if I killed her myself. Declaration with a smile. Eve raised his sword in a quiet reply. What's the meaning of this, Eve?
That question is meaningless. After all, I intend on saving her, no matter who or what she is. Even if your intentions are good, I don't want you to kill her. Same goes for Cyan, who has the ability to cure her.
Lucas was impressed that Eve had sensed his intention to kill Cyan. He readied his weapon and prepared to face Eve, who showed no signs of backing down. This is not the time, motherfuckers. This kind of shit! This is why I'm gonna die! They glared at each other for a moment. A drop of sweat rolled down Eve's cheek. Impossible. There's no way I can kill two of my precious students. An unexpected reply. Eve looked stunned, expecting them to go right into battle. A perfect answer. I'm sorry for testing you. No. Rather, I was likely testing my own self. Since my reawakening, I haven't been able to shake off the odd sense that I've gone mad. At the end of his sentence, Lucas quickly struck an arrow that came from behind. Lucas turned his back to Eve, looking down the corridor they went through. Let me handle this. I trust you'll teach Cyan Brophy's a lesson in my place. But before you go, let me give you some advice about fighting, Eve. If I'm not mistaken, your sense of pain is dulled because of that fire 7 years ago.
You noticed.
While you were always smiling, even after the worst of injuries, someone with the right knowledge could tell quite easily. Lucas smiled beautifully and went on to say that he also noticed because Eve was his former student. That defect of yours may help you greatly when saving people or when you're fighting. Analgesia? Is that how you say it? Anyway, a condition where one cannot feel pain. Okay, didn't we theorize that before? Like, does he just not feel pain? Okay. That said, if you plan on moving ahead, then make sure you regain the sense of pain you've lost. After all, someone who feels no pain cannot begin to save a maiden in suffering. He went on to say that it could be recovered if the origin was psychogenic. And with that, Lucas turned his back to him. Well, he's going to feel pain all right. Now then, I look forward to giving you your score once we meet again, Eve. With everything needed to be said, Lucas quickly ran toward the enemies that lay in wait. I like how they were just like, no, we'll wait. You just finish your combo. Eve scratched his head, wondering how Lucas had noticed. He didn't decide to lose his sense of pain. After the fire, he was bullied to the point of injury on a regular basis. Each time he told himself that the pain he felt wasn't as bad as the burns. Then one day his pain vanished. He lost his sense of pain from the burns and the new wounds that followed. The doctor he saw said it wasn't something that could be fixed easily, but Eve kept the words of his former teacher in the back of his mind. He's about to feel like the worst fucking emotional pain, and that's probably going to cause him physical pain. Noticing his mask was slightly off, he pushed it back into position. This could be the first time he was fighting someone by himself. Eve always had his trusted friends and allies with him to give him support, but now? No. They were still with him.
I'll be going, Adolphe. You go.
Eve smiled and waved his hand at the vision of his friends, then set off into the depths of the facility. Oof. So close. Pain surged through my body as my cells slowly went through genetic modification, but my sense of despair loomed even stronger from seeing the screen in front of me.
No. So don't worry about us or everyone else's longevity. Take care of my poor little sister, okay?
No! Wait! Adolphe!
I didn't really want to relive this game, thanks.
You know, I actually liked how she sometimes called me her brother.
Adolphe's got a sister kink, huh? That's okay, Adolphe, I got a brother kink, so. With his back turned to me, Cyan calmly observed what was happening. No. No! I would scream louder, but we'd all go deaf. I screamed inside the capsule. Why, Adolphe? You said you'd save this country! The people! So why?
I said before that it was rescinded. If anyone's at fault, it's them for refusing my hand of salvation.
But... Ah! That's terrible. My brash but gentle, kind, dear brother. I only caused him trouble, and I never once repaid him for his kindness. It was why I wanted to repay Adolphe by having Cyan extend everyone's longevity, so he could find happiness too. I thought he'd be happy! Pain that was surging through me took on a different meaning. Too late. It took too much time. If the experiment began sooner, and Adolphe, everyone would have pulled back, saying it was too late. No one would have had to die for me. My nails bit deep into my arms as I embraced myself. Hurry and kill me! Hurry, hurry, hurry! Kill me before anyone else dies!
I'd be happy to grant your wish, but I can't allow all your toxins to be released at once. You've endured it for 18 years, haven't you? Wait a few more minutes and your wish will come true.
Cyan entered something into the system as I continued to hyperventilate from stress. I could tell I was slowly turning into some other being. Chills running down my spine were just enough to drive me mad. My body twitched and I couldn't keep myself upright. And so... Please, hurry and kill me! What I was going through now wasn't comparable to what Eve was feeling.
Spacey.
I looked up, hearing a familiar voice. A kind voice was coming from behind the door, along with the splatter of blood. No! Stop him, Cyan! Please don't let him come inside! I pleaded to him as he was the only one who had access to the lock on the door.
Of course I won't. No idiot would allow their enemy in. That said, it seems it's too late.
Huh? Cyan was focused on the systems in front of him. He stared intently at the glaring red error displayed on the screen. Error! Error! An unauthorized external process has disarmed the security system. All facility staff must follow the system manual. Repeat. Error! Error!
Only a few of my staff are able to hack into my system.
Duh! So you're on their side now. I thought you were smarter than this. Yeah, too late for you, isn't it?
Suddenly, the system screen displayed a video of Dahut with his tongue sticking out.
Why are you getting in my way? Don't you want to revive your mother into a normal human? Yeah, but I guess I was slightly confused. To be honest, I was actually on your side until they barged in, Cyan. And then why? Cyan, the second most important person I look up to is someone who wants to live life the way it was meant to be lived. That person's Nadia's brother, Monsieur Proust, and you did some bad things to him and made his little sister sad. So I'm actually pretty pissed right now. That's all the reason I needed. I betrayed you because I was swayed by my emotions. I know how much you hate that. all the damn reasons. Sure, it's a stupid reason, but I wonder who actually got infiltrated because of it, There you have it. I had issues with you before anyway, so I think it's high time that the almighty Cyan got smacked around a little until he learns a thing or two.
Listen, I love that Cyan and Dahad are friends, but I also like their frenemy status, and like right now, this is amusing. Dahad's face disappeared from view just as the security system finally failed.
It seems that this was unavoidable.
Yeah,
Oh, this would be even.
yeah, Karun guarantees quality results in her work. I will complete any task, no matter what.
And that held true, even if the order was from himself.
It's been a long while. I came to save Spacey and crush your idea of salvation.
Steve came to take away salvation from death. The young hero, transforming into someone bigger, smiled with bravado. End of this part. Now, here's the thing. We're at the end, so this could very well be like 5 or 10 minutes for the next thing. It could be 30 or 40. I don't know. So if you're seeing this and like this, then the next part was long enough to be its own part for the end. You know? If for some reason it's only like 5 minutes, then I'll just edit the parts together and then we'll never know. Well, you might know because you'll have a thing in the middle that's like, all right, these were 2 different parts, but we'll put them together or whatever. You know what I mean? You'll hear me at the end, something. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, most likely I will see you next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.